GDP is number of money transactions consumed or produced over a year, right? So there's kind of a speed, a rate of something happening. So all these things that socioeconomic had this character that was very different from organisms, in biology. And they all accelerated as cities got larger. So what we saw was that there are countries that are richer, countries that are poorer. But if you compare cities within the same country, then you find that larger cities have, for example, a higher GDP per capita. New York has a higher GDP per capita than Chicago. Chicago has more than a smaller city, and so on. And so there was kind of this acceleration of the production of almost anything that we measure that was socioeconomic. So it was not narrowly economic, not narrowly, epidemics and not narrowly to do with with crime or innovation. It was just all these quantities had the same signature. They basically increased on a per capita basis. If you double the size of a city, you get sort of 16% more per capita. So that was kind of weird, and it smelled to us like a general result, a general property. So that begged the question, essentially an explanation. And the other part is that everything physical about the city, going back to the road networks and the buildings and so on, they had the opposite character, curiously. So, for example, if you measure the area of roads in cities in the same way, and you just say, how does it increase with city size? Then you find that it increases slower than population. And so basically, it decreases on a per capita basis by about those same 16%. So that was curious. So what that means is that cities are getting a little denser as they get bigger. So more people use the same amount of road and a little bit the same building. We can get to buildings because they also get taller, which is interesting. But then all the stuff that has of socioeconomic rates, which we started interpreting basically as the product of socioeconomic interactions. So we needed to have an interaction theory. Increase and speed up. So the idea we started having, I was coming to this actually from studying several data sets and ideas of innovation and networks. So networks also, at the same time we're doing this work, became a big tool for many analysis of many complex systems. So we started seeing that there were two kinds of networks actually that we needed to distinguish. One is the physical network of roads and transportation things and cables and so on, which had this characteristic of densifying. That felt a little bit more. The numbers were not the same, but they found this other network of socioeconomic interactions had to live on the physical space and had a different character. And that was really what led us to seek a different kind of explanation that explained these accelerations and therefore potentially increases in energy expenditures. And